Hi everyone. So this is the moment that the flat earth debates fractured and the growing channel lost its forward momentum and regressed into the unrecognisable shell that it is today. This was the moment that I exposed the hypocrisy of Nathan Oakley and Quantum Eraser, not just to the panellists, but to all the flat earth followers of these two clowns. Watch the chat on the left and follow the support I got in this row. Yes, I let them have it for good reason. My show after this took off, and Nathan's was half the show that mine was. People knew I was after the truth and not just a sycophant or a bootlicker. Now, this all kicked off because Arwijn and Anon had been arguing about diffraction patterns and the cause of such. Quantum Eraser had been parroting and telling Arwijn for months that an experiment existed that demonstrated a diffraction pattern caused by particles. Quantum Eraser said he had the citations, he had the experiment, he also had videos of it, and Arwijn believed him. Now, Arwijn required Quantum Eraser to step up and provide the evidence so that he could argue better the subject with Anon. Quantum Eraser refused. This went on for months. Anon wanted this too, and Quantum Eraser refused. Now here we are, and you will hear me then ask for the same. Now, this was not my argument to be had, but it was an argument out of principle. I had no real idea what they were talking about or even arguing about. I just knew Quantum Eraser had made a claim and he was now refusing to give the evidence. Whether the evidence was out there or not, I really didn't care. I just wanted Quantum Eraser to offer up what he had claimed was his evidence. Simple as that. I was not invested in the argument about particles or photons or anything to do with the buckyballs experiment. That was not my line of interest, so I had no skin in the fight, but I had just about had enough of Quantum Eraser running his mouth and acting the big I am. Let's get into this.
Sorry, are you digging this out then, Arwijn, or is that like...
I don't know where to look. I asked this stuff to John for like months ago. He gave me a bunch of links to white papers, not actual visuals. I don't know why, but John doesn't have it, I think. Because otherwise he'd shoved it in my face, or he's just so impatient that he just refuses to do the work and just complains about me being lazy, not finding it myself, kind of like a baller does. Yeah, that's what John. So I'm waiting for the evidence myself, but I know the claims are out there, just like the dumb textbook claims about how diffraction can only be caused by waves, and it's everywhere in wiki and dictionaries and all that shit. Doesn't make it actual though, you know, because in all those dictionaries and all those books and all those encyclopedias, there's all kinds of talk about how the earth is a globe as well. Doesn't prove that either, you know. So yeah, I'm still waiting as well.
You're still researching.
I'm waiting on the same thing as Anon does, except I don't draw really dumb, premature conclusions based on false assertions. That's the difference.
What's the problem, man? Sorry, my internet suddenly stopped whole power.
I'll ask so there's no heatedness about it. Do you have a quick reference to any double slit that's been done with buckyballs or anything larger than light, basically?
I already went over this before, didn't I? How many times I got to go over this? Who wants to know?
Arwyn's just hoping for a physical, something he can look at rather than read.
What do you want me to do?
Demonstrate.
Shut up! It's already been demonstrated. Buckyballs were done in the 90s, fuck's sake.
Okay, show it to me. Show it.
What do you... Show it to you? You fucking...
Yes.
I'm not even talking to you
Find
anymore.
the URL. Find a YouTube video of it.
Fuck off.
Find something. I'll rest my case.
You don't have a case. You're a fucking retard. Brenda handed you your ass yesterday. How can you even show your face?
You're on Brenda's side. Let that sink in.
Brenda handed you your ass yesterday.
You are on Brenda's side.
Hold on. What's this side crap?
Let that sink in.
Hold on. This
is the shit I have to deal with.
Hold on, just let me
because I want to know.
Hold on.
I'm not
speaking about sides. Hold on, Arwijn, hold on.
Just clear that up for Anon. Not providing any evidence.
Triggered. Anon. Yeah. No. It's not about sides. I don't care whose side she's on. If she's right, I'll back her. If she's wrong, I'll tell her. And I didn't see
same
your,
with me.
I didn't see your bit with her.
I'm who's right with the light, with the vacuum space.
He got his ass handed to him. Did you listen to it, Nathan?
Now, I'd gone to bed by that point, so I'm saying this, but I don't actually know what happened between the two of them.
Oh, just wait till you hear it, man. I was rolling.
Oh, it was so great.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, let people hear it.
I don't care.
I love that.
Fuck off.
We are live. Try not to swear
just
quite
to be
so much,
clear, there
please.
is no demonstration of a diffraction pattern caused by anything else beside a wave.
A wave, huh? A wave of what?
That waves can only
oh, that's right.
happen.
I forgot. I'm not
matter.
talking to that crayon luncher.
There's no demonstration of that either, Anon. There's a lot of things that are said.
Wait a second. Hold on. Anon, how did you get in here?
Quantum Eraser is now deflecting here rather than answering the question. He also goes out of his way to threaten people with being banned from Oakley's Skype conversation if he knows who sent a link to Anon. This is Quantum Eraser not wanting Anon in there, because he had been holding his toes to the fire over this very subject, so he wanted him out so he could hide away again.
I'm an elite hacksaw.
Who gave you the link?
I'm an elite hacksaw.
Somebody had to give you the link. Who was it?
I am an elite
Ranty.
hacksaw.
Nathan, you need to
let me
read
ask you
the
something, Randy.
code for the panel.
Shut up, Arwijn.
No,
Ranty.
I'm telling this to Nathan.
Ranty.
I'm friends with 76 people in there.
I just want to know who gave you the link.
I told you, I'm an elite hacksaw. I have a Skype client that actually
You're a dishonest. You're a dishonest retard, right? If I find out who gave him the link to this hangout, you're out of that room.
What are you gonna do?
Take him out of the room.
Like I said, there is.
I'll find out. Oh, I'm gonna
Skype
find out. I'm gonna find out, retard.
Can we change the
You're a
subject?
tick, Anon. You're a parasite. You're
can we
clearly
change the subject?
unwanted, and you're proud that you are parasitical, Anon.
Yeah.
Sick bastard.
I'm like an Alabama tick.
Yeah, you are a parasite that everyone hates. That's right, yeah.
Everybody hates me because I point out your bullshit.
Because you're a
That's why.
parasite and you go to places where you're not wanted. That's right.
Everybody who comes here is not wanted. All the ballers. So Zanuck, yeah, you can put me in the ballers group. Fine.
Oh, really?
Doesn't matter. I make the show.
No, we said here,
You know?
here in the hangout, not in Discord. Here,
Doesn't matter.
you're not
What? So
welcome
you
here.
can't mute me? So you can't mute me?
You're not welcome here
Aw.
because you're a retard. That's why you're not welcome here.
This is Nathan's show. If Nathan doesn't want me, I'll drop.
Oh, he doesn't mind.
I don't
Nathan?
mind
There you
either
go,
way. That's
stay.
why I'm shutting up.
Nathan?
I haven't said anything because I don't mind either way.
I do it.
Well, there you go.
Very helpful. Your neutrality comes at the greatest moments, Nathan. Brilliant.
Sorry, I'm not backing you, Owen. What do you want? Just kidding. You can laugh about it.
That's funny.
Make the show fun. You get to yell at me. Don't you like that?
It's not fun. It's a waste of time.
I agree.
Well,
It's a
for
waste
you,
of
You
time.
are a
think
waste of time. You waste
To be honest,
everyone's
Anon,
time.
it is frustrating because the very thing that we've been saying for months and months and months, every time we say it, you go, I'm not interested.
Yeah. Because you're a
I've
parasite.
been waiting
You're
for
here
the
to waste
demonstration.
everybody's time.
I want to talk to
Even
Nathan.
Brenda has more legitimate input than you have. Yeah. Think
I
about
want
that.
to talk to Nathan.
And that's
Nathan,
scary.
I'm asking for a demonstration of, if you show me a demonstration of a diffraction pattern caused by particles, I will gladly say I was wrong and I will look into
Here we back with the particle. You did it in your kitchen.
Yeah, I created diffraction pattern.
Yeah,
Can only be
with
caused
particles.
by- No,
with
that's not particles.
Yeah,
No.
it is. And I already toe tagged your dumbass. You're in my toe tag list for this nonsense.
Perfect. I can't
How many
wait.
times do I got to do this? I'm not doing it again. Go
Because you
go
never
look at
did.
my toe tag list, and your toe tag. You're dead. You're there.
He doesn't care.
All right.
I know he
So
doesn't.
no demonstration of
Guy.
diffraction pattern. Got
He's
it.
basically
Just
kind
be
of like
clear.
Jason McCormack. He just does the same tired old shit over and over and over again forever, and he doesn't care if people don't want to hear it. He likes to assert himself like a parasite.
Yeah,
And he'll
he's
probably
all
use
about it.
duck trolls. He'll use hacking. He's even proud of it, how he is a parasite. Just wanted to re-emphasize that for a moment.
he's
All
an
I've
ether
heard-
lover.
All I've heard is Anon asking for this paper for this experiment from the 1990s, and Arwijn doesn't have it, and Quantum Eraser is refusing to say where it is or where he has it. and Anon's just asking for it, and I think this can be laid to rest here and now.
Can I answer that then?
Produced.
Can I answer that? Because he did actually ask me. I just didn't get a chance to answer him.
Okay. Well, I know that it was you brought it up, and you said that.
I understand. Okay, I'll just respond to it then. So for me, the reason it's not come up until now, I tried to use it as a different angle because Arwijn tried to use it with the same effect yesterday. That was where the conversation kind of ended for me with you two yesterday. So Arwijn saying, look, there's a demonstration of something physical. Now the objection has come for that as a new angle to try and get you to understand this. But my angle wasn't that to begin with. My angle was to say, when you describe a diffraction pattern, the diffraction pattern itself, you then reword as a wave. And you say the only way that's achievable is if it's traversed a wave, whatever it may be. Well, the diffraction pattern, interference pattern, is then qualified mathematically as a wave function. But it's still a diffraction pattern, it's just an interference pattern. What you're looking at is interference. That's what that pattern is. Well, when you
interference of what?
Sorry? Say again.
Interference of what?
The likelihood.
What?
Okay, I'll tell you.
What are the things that
I'll tell you.
you.
Well, that's a good question because that's how they quantify it mathematically. So when you describe interference mathematically as a wave function, what is a wave function? Well, it's a probability distribution. So on the bars that you've got, let's pretend you've got 5, and from left to right they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, as each hit occurs, if you were sending them out one at a time, you'd see that you had a hit of the light at 0.3, and that happens to be the longest bar. In other words, you get more hits at 0.3 than any of the others, 1, 2, or 4, and 5. But when you fire the next one, it doesn't hit 0.3. It hits 0.1. Then you fire another one, it hits 0.5. Well, when you qualify those impacts, where they will hit, and what the likelihood of the next impact will be, that's probability. How likely it is to hit the next bar at 0.1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Well, the likelihood of it hitting 0.2 can be summed up as a probability. The likelihood of it hitting 0.3 can be summed up as a probability. And the likelihood of it hitting 0.4 as a probability. So you have a distribution of probability, aka a wave function in maths. Now that is absolutely not in any way, shape or form derived from, formed by, or in physical terms, a wave. It's a way of describing a likelihood of an occurrence. How likely is the next bit of light that comes out my laser going to hit position 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5? And the likelihood of it hitting position 3 over number 2 is the distribution of said probability described in maths as a wave function.
Nathan, okay. My rebuttal here would be, it's very simple. It's that in this show format, if there is a claim, there is claim, and then you need to have your citations and proof. So Arwijn on my show yesterday made a claim, which was brought up again today by yourself. Arwijn said that there is an experiment out there, but he's waiting to get it from John because John told him that he's seen it, and he's also confirmed that he did it in that. Well, it was available in the 1990s. So there is a claim out there, and Anon just wants to see the proof of that. Okay. And he's asking the two people that may be able to get him that information, primarily Arwijn and then Quantum Eraser, to provide that proof. And that's all I'm intersecting for, is to say that I see that Anon just wants this proof.
Yeah, we heard you.
Thank
and you could piss off too, now? Right, Ranty? Let me ask him a question first. Well, let me ask him a question first. Nathan,
no, provide your proof.
Can you just respond to him, please?
Let me ask you a question. Ranty, did you give Anon the link to this hangout?
I don't care about that. Admin can wait. I just want to respond in the regards to this experiment. Yes, he wants an experiment. The problem, Ranty, is that the experiment he wants in no way, shape or form validates the question he's asking. The double slit experiment doesn't confirm or deny the existence of waves as light. The understanding.
It might further his own.
I'm not getting a chance to respond. It seems. I'm just getting rumpused. I don't know why, but I am responding concisely and coherently to the question you've asked, Ranty. So even if I give him what he wants, it won't confirm, validate, or invalidate in any way, shape, or form that light is or is not a wave. However, the construct of the experiment and the descriptions of what is occurring are mathematical, and I can explain that. He just has to understand it.
But in order to do any type of research, you need to have a. Hang on, Arwijn. In order to get any kind of research done, you need to have a list of things that you need to go through and get from point A to point B. And I think Anon is quite correct in asking for this. Whether or not it proves his point, he can then take this information away, process it, come back with a better argument. So I still believe that this information needs to be provided to Anon, seeing as it's been made as a claim.
Yeah, can I respond to that? Yeah.
Can I respond to?
Well, no, Auntie, hold on. I just want to respond to Auntie. The information, as I've just tried to explain, scaling up the particulate matter that passes through the double slit doesn't in any way actually affirm, beyond the description itself, it won't make any difference if he sees it. It's not going to change the description of what's occurring in the experiment, because they're not trying to validate the question he's asking. So it makes no difference if he sees it or not.
That's correct.
I just agreed with you on that.
Can I interject something now? What it will do, however, it won't prove light is a wave or not a wave, right? Because that's not the experiment. But what it will do is get this nagging habit out of Anon's head that wave functions can only be caused by literal waves. Because, well, a particle of matter is clearly not a wave. So that'll make it a lot easier to slap that over his face and get that ridiculous assertion out of the way.
Well, the only person that can help with this issue is Quantum Eraser, and he's here right now. And you've been waiting for this evidence, Arwijn. Anon's been waiting for this evidence. Have you got it there, John?
What evidence?
Piss off.
What are you talking about? What
have
evidence?
You got it?
Piss off.
Huh.
Let me ask you another question.
What evidence? Would you like? I assume by this that
piss off, you clown. I'm tired of listening to you.
Going on.
You're the dumbest person on the planet.
Hello. What's going on? Why is there suddenly chaos? Hello. Why is there suddenly chaos? What's going on?
Yeah, your sister doesn't mind.
Guys,
your sister doesn't mind.
The G+. Hello. Why is there suddenly chaos? Ranty's just claimed this. Ranty's just claimed we're waiting on it.
Fuck you.
Can you both calm down, please? I'm trying to get a sentence out. You're both being really disorderly. Can I just try and get my sentence out? Thank you. Ranty's claimed we're waiting on an experiment, and I've just gone to great lengths to explain that even if we had it, the experiment that's being performed doesn't validate or invalidate the question being asked. Ergo, it's not really very useful, but you're now doubling down saying we need to see this experiment.
I want to see it. If you show it to me, I'll
talking to Ranty.
Yeah, because
Ranty. Talking to Ranty. Why am I hearing four people? Why am I hearing four people?
You were probably slightly off the mark, which is why
you're not Ranty. Hello, I'm asking Ranty. Why am I hearing four people? Hello. Shut up. Shut up.
Eli.
Hello.
Eli.
Shut up. I'm talking to Ranty by name. I've explained, Ranty, that the experiment.
Now I want to see it. Now I want to see it. Now I want to see it, as well as Anon and as well as Arwijn. We all three want to see this information.
Right. Okay. For what purpose?
Just because now it's pissing me off that John is telling me to piss off and he doesn't want to provide the information. That tells me he's lying or has something to hide about it. And now I want to know about it.
Okay. What exactly is it that you want to know? What's the information you're hoping
Arwijn, tell him what you need, please.
I'm asking you, Ranty.
He doesn't even know.
I'm asking. Nothing to do with that. I want Arwijn to concisely say what he's been asking you for 3 months for.
You said
Ranty doesn't
you
know
want it now. Hold on, QE. You said really abruptly over and over again, you want it now. You want this information.
Yes, I do.
What information?
I want Arwijn to rewind Quantum Eraser right now, exactly what he's been asking him for the past 3 months.
I'm asking you, Ranty. Ranty.
Never mind asking me that. I want him to... Don't change it around on me.
You're the one who asked.
Don't be a cunt. Don't be a fucking cunt.
Why are you getting so triggered?
because you are now trying to defend quantum eraser on the slide.
No, I'm not asking. I've told him to shut up.
To specifically mention exactly what it is that
I've
I'm
told
asking
him
for.
to shut up
This
so I
is
can speak to
Arwyn's
you, and you're just getting
information
mad.
that he wants, and
Going nuts,
Anon's
Ranty, I don't get it.
information that he wants. So provide it, John.
Let me know when you're done. I am trying to have a conversation with you, Ranty. You, not Arwyn, not QE.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I'm trying to ascertain what information you're trying to acquire. You.
The buckyballs.
The experiment from the 1990s.
Yeah, so what are you hoping to get? What information do you want from it?
It's been a claim. I want to see the information.
What information?
I want to see the citation. I want to see the proof of the experiment.
What is the information you want? Why am I hearing someone else's voice? Is that Anon? What a shock. I'll say it again. I'm talking to Ranty, who's piped up. I want it. I want the information. Well, this information's important.
Now I know what. Now I want to understand why he's not giving it to Arwyn for 3 months.
Giving what?
He's still parroting that it's out there. He's
giving
still
what?
He said it before.
You're just ignoring me and talking non-stop. You're doing the same trick as bloody unorthodox earlier.
Well, you know what it is that I'm asking for.
Try again.
So why are you asking me to remind me again what it is that I'm asking him for?
Because I don't know what you're asking for.
What, you've forgotten yourself, have you?
You're the one asking, not me. That's why I'm trying to find out what you're asking for. I want this information. I want it now, is what you said. So what do you want?
So wait a minute. So you're going to tell me that you can remember everything else that we've argued about in the past, but you can't remember exactly what I'm asking for now? Is this what you're telling me? To defend?
Let me answer and see if you constantly talk through me, Ranty. We'll find out how triggered you are
if I
try and answer.
I'm looking for?
No, you are very triggered because I'm trying to answer and you're talking through me, Ranty.
Proof of an experiment.
So when I've asked you to tell me, what's happening is he's asked me to tell him what he's asking for. So it seems like he's got something to say. He's going to keep talking through me, just like glowheads do.
Yeah. So you want to know exactly what it is. I want to see an experiment that John has said is out there that shows the diffraction pattern created by particles. Is that concise enough for you?
No, because that's not an experiment that exists and not the purpose of that experiment.
John has told...
Ranty, please, can I respond without you interrupting me, Ranty? Is that a possibility? I know you're very, very triggered, but I'd like to respond unimpeded. Please.
It's all right. Now, the audience is seeing this, John and Nathan.
What, you not letting me talk for more than half a breath?
Go ahead and talk, Nathan.
I don't need your permission. I need you to stop talking through me when I start talking.
Go ahead and talk, Nathan.
I don't need your permission. I'll say it 4 more times.
I'll ask the question 10 more times then. Why is John refusing to hand over the experiment to Arwyn?
Can somebody be sure to share this link with Trolls versus Trolls so they can just document how triggered Ranty is?
Triggered because John is sitting there hiding behind the fact that he's full of bullshit.
So the experiment that you're asking for earlier, I tried to explain that it doesn't give you that outcome. This validity for particles to defeat a particle wave duality is not going to be attained by scaling at the double slit experiment. I have explained that to you already. Ergo, showing Anon the experiment won't achieve that outcome. Now, what will it? I agreed with you. And you're interrupting me.
Now we have Nathan white knighting for quantum eraser. Nathan is explaining how this evidence will not provide a win in this debate between Arwyn and Anon, and as such, quantum eraser should not provide the evidence. Except it was quantum eraser's claim that it did. It is also not Nathan's place to say who and who should not be expected to back their claims, and upon what criteria Nathan decides who should be forthcoming with some proofs.
And what I have also tried to explain to him is that the principles that are used within the experiment to derive the wave function could only exist if you were dealing with particles, i.e. the impacts, their likelihood, and the wave function derivative that you get mathematically when you're calculating the probability distribution of the impacts, not waves, impacts of particles. So if he was to understand that, and you're still interrupting me.
I'm sorry, but it's a straw man, Nathan, and I'll tell you for why. Because
I haven't finished talking, Ranty. Ranty, please stop interrupting me, Ranty. Ranty, I'm trying to detail it. Ranty, I'm trying to detail an experiment that you didn't know what you needed from it, and when you told me what you required from it, the experiment didn't have that, and I've already explained that to you. Take a breath Anon simply refuses to find out where wave function was derived from. We've been telling him for 9 months straight. Now we've moved on to Arwijn trying to... There he goes again. Moved on to Arwijn trying a different angle, which is to say you can scale up the experiment to things that are bigger than the single thing you've got this misconception about wave-particle duality in. Now again, even if he shows him the scaled-up version, the experiment's not addressing wave-particle duality. It's a tenet of the actual experiment that could only exist if you had particles. You couldn't derive wave function if you didn't. But he doesn't understand that derivative in maths and refuses to look into it, says over and over again that he's not interested, and is now demanding that QE provides an experiment that will not in no way address it for being scaled up.
May I actually? No, hang on, wait.
It's a different issue, though, because
May I actually? Jesus Christ.
For that, but it's separate.
Right. So when Anon specifically asked Quantum Eraser not 15 minutes ago about bucketballs in the 1990s, right? He said that experiment was done back in the 1990s. Yeah, because
it's already been demonstrated. Buckyballs were done in the 90s. Fuck's sake. It's already been demonstrated. Buckyballs were done in the 90s. Fuck's sake. It's already been demonstrated. Buckyballs were done in the 90s. Fuck's sake.
this is the argument they are having, and now we're asking for proof of that.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
asking
not
for
the
proof.
argument.
Try
He
once more.
explained it to
I
you
don't
twice.
care.
He explained it to you twice.
I'm trying to keep
Hello.
I'm trying to keep Ranty calm.
Don't get it.
Hello? Hello? Dialogue. 2 people, not 5. Hello, idiots.
By your own
2 people,
rules, QE,
not 5. Just me and Ranty. Thank you.
by QE's own rules, it is claim, and then you provide the evidence.
Okay.
Claim, evidence. Claim,
No problem.
evidence. There is
No
a
problem.
claim out there.
Okay,
I
I
want
heard.
to see the evidence.
Say
By
it 5.
QE's
Okay, Ranty,
own-
say it 16 more times. Go on. Spit it out 16 more times. I didn't hear the first 5.
Right, good, because I've said it 50 now, and I just don't seem to be getting anything from Quantum Eraser. He's hiding.
Okay. So, was it Quantum Eraser making the claim that the scaling up of buckyballs proves or disproves wave particle duality in a debate between Arwijn and Anon?
That is not what I'm asking.
Well, you've said
I'm
that
asking
somehow QE needs to justify this claim because what?
Quantum Eraser claimed it in this show not 20 minutes
Arwijn,
ago.
please, Ranty, can you take a breath?
He claimed it here 20 minutes ago
Ranty,
when he was asked
can you
about
take
it.
a
He said
breath?
it was done in the
Ranty,
1990s.
I'm trying to subtly say you're very triggered and coming off very badly as you continually interrupt me.
No, I'm not. I'm not coming off bad here, Nathan, because I'm just asking, because Quantum Eraser brought up 1990s. If anybody heard that, that was from Quantum Eraser's own mouth. He then puts himself in a position where he is also agreeing that this happened. And so now we want to see the proof.
It's already been demonstrated. Buckyballs were done in the 90s. Fuck's sake.
Very simple.
Why?
Arwyn's been asking for it from Quantum Eraser for the past few months.
Let me know when you're done.
I haven't
Let me know when you're
finished.
done.
Let me finish. This is exactly what you do. You take a breath and then somebody says something and you say, oh, I'm being interrupted. Well, no, I was literally taking a breath there when you started to talk and then say that I'm rumpusing you. Right. So Arwyn's been asking Quantum Eraser for the past few months for this information because Anon and him have been going at it. Quantum Eraser says it's out there. Arwyn believes him. Arwyn believes him so much that he says it's out there, it's out there, it's out there. There's proof it's absolutely out there because John said so. And then John confirms it today on this very show. And then I say, let's see this information. And we are still waiting 20 minutes later for this information. Whether or not it's going to prove anything in any shape or form, but just the fact that the information is out there and the experiment and proof is out there, that's all. Whatever somebody does with it, whether they go and wipe it on their arse, I don't care. Now I just want to see it, and I'm sure everybody else wants to just see this because people have been arguing about this, and John has not been actually very forthcoming in providing the information, even though he specifically agreed and he mentioned 1990, not 20 minutes ago, proving that he knows about this test or experiment that was out there that he's been telling Arwyn is out there, right? Now, You've seen how it went down yesterday. Arwijn got very triggered over this, right? And this is the issues that we're having, is if the quantum eraser is saying something and Arwijn believes him, and then the information actually isn't there, right? Then Arwijn has already been spending months going down the wrong path, looking at something that he should, or looking for information that isn't there, right? So I would like to see from quantum eraser to back his claim, back his proof, back his evidence, and sort it out once and for all. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to go on mute right now, and then it's going to be up to the audience to decide whether quantum eraser provides that or hides away. I'm going on mute.
Just a couple of questions though, Ranty, rather than you having an end of Star Tribe and then shutting down. What information does QE is responsible for providing? What information exactly? And why is he responsible for providing it?
If I may respond,
Not
that
you,
the Bucky
no, I
Ball
wanna know-
experiment was... No, he's
Arwijn,
on mute.
Arwijn, I want to know from Ranty, who's just had an endless Star Tribe. It's not reasonable that he should just get to spew and then not address any questions that I've got. So
I was the one originally doing the inquiry.
don't care,
right? Why are you
Arwijn,
talking
please.
about me?
Arwijn, so let's have a little segue because Arwyn's decided it's his turn to talk. No, Arwijn, I'd like to address what has just been charged at QE by Ranty. So what exactly has QE claimed that he needs to back up? Okay, it's not his
Experiment
claim.
in the 90s.
But, okay,
Wait.
it's Arwijn. Fucking hell, Arwyn's made a claim in debate with Anon. Now, if I take some piece of information from a library book and don't read it all the way through, or go out and get all of the citations and references and double check them, or if there's an experiment, do it myself for the sake of argument, is it the book's fault that I go into a debate without all the information to hand for me to debate with? Do I then go and shout at the book? No. Is it the book's responsibility to educate me about the information I'm going to go out and debate with? No, it's not. Likewise, it is absolutely sod all to do with Quantum Eraser what Arwijn chooses to do with information he's got from Quantum Eraser. He might choose to go out and research it for endless hours so he can win a debate with the information. He might decide that that information is too limited to go forth and debate with. But should he go forth and debate with it, it's not fucking Quantum Eraser's problem. He hasn't got to do anything. So you piping up and demanding from him, Ranty, that he's got to do something now is complete horse shit. Especially when you don't even know what you're asking for. And what you do ask for isn't the experiment that's being demanded of QE when he hasn't claimed it. Arwijn has. It's not his problem, mate. So I don't know why you think you're in a position to pipe up and demand stuff of QE. Who the hell are you?
All right, I'm gonna insert myself here for a little second. I guess I'll just not take Quantum Eraser's word for anything ever again, because apparently it's a disgrace if I then eventually demand some kind of evidence for that specific, narrow down, not involved in anything else specifically necessarily claim. I guess
just a quick
that's
question,
Randy's
Arwijn.
point. And
Sure.
you seem to strawman the
Very
point.
good advice. Yes, very good advice. Don't just take people at their word. Totally agree. How much research have you actually done on buckyballs?
Right. Well, I'm just not going to mention it again. I'm just going to give Anon his apparent win that I can't rebuttal because I'm not being handed the evidence in order to attempt this because of technical issues, and it's my claim and that.
No, my question was, how much research, given that you found out about buckyballs, did you do on them?
Well, I even heard about the concept 20 years ago. So it's not like the first time I've heard about it. It's just I've never actually been provided any actual visual related. Like here is a photograph of the plate it was done with. Here is the statistics concerning that and how the decision was made. I've never been able to see that, and I've asked for it before. Okay, and that's the problem. And I'm not getting it. I'm not getting the actual evidence that it was actually done beyond any conceptualization. It was just declared.
How much time did you spend researching it yourself, as opposed to asking someone else for their information on it?
Well, I'm assuming that Quantum Eraser, since he's always so solid about
deflecting,
providing evidence
this
for
onto Quantum Eraser.
He can then by his own standards, provide the
A couple
evidence
of
for it.
months.
Arwijn, can I just get a
No,
word
I'm
in?
not-
Sorry,
I'm not
guys, can I just
quantum
try
eraser.
and talk to Arwijn? I know he's going to do the same that Ranty did to me and talk through every fucking word. So, given that you found a bit of information out from QE, is it now his responsibility to educate you in every fine detail about buckyballs and the scaling up of the quantum eraser, the double slit experiment? Is that his responsibility now?
Well, it would show some character consistency.
So, you think in your deluded, privileged mind that it's his responsibility to now educate you in that subject matter? Wow, Arwijn, really?
Well, he
No,
makes
we're
claims
just
for
asking
it.
for the proof,
He makes
man.
claims for it.
Come
I
on.
don't care if he educates it. It's just that if you say
Cowbell.
like, yeah, you're gonna have to do it yourself, but he also uses it in his arguments. That's the problem.
Oh, and when he does, and let's say someone beats him, and he's happened to have cited, say, Karl Popper, and he loses an argument, does he go and knock on his door and say, "Oi, why didn't you educate me on this analogy better? You told me about this analogy. It's your responsibility now to educate me on this." Or maybe go to Feynman and do the same. Feynman, you told me this little detail in one of your lectures one day. What about all this other stuff? It's now your charge to keep me educated on it in case I debate it. Is that how it works, Arwijn?
No.
So it's fuck
where you're
all.
going. This is
Fuck
very
all responsibility of QE's then to make sure you're kept up to speed on this stuff then. Not his problem.
Okay. Well, I'm
So just out of
trying
interest,
to uphold
So
QE
bizarre.
by his own standards. That's all.
his standards, no, this is you in debate with someone else, not his standards, it's your standards. The fact that you're now charging him with having not told you has led Ranty to have a massive moan at him, like somehow he's now in charge of giving you all this information and is somehow guilty of not giving it and should be demanded to give it because you've lost a debate in this regard because you didn't research it afterwards. Therefore,
No.
it's the guilt of the person that told you a bit of information in the first place. That's what's
No,
happening
it has
here.
nothing to do with my debate with Anon yesterday.
You're
I
saying
don't
you
know why
weren't
you
kept
keep
up
on
to
bringing
date.
that in there. It has nothing to do with that.
Sorry. You're saying you weren't kept up to speed. Your underling QE didn't give you the information that you charged him with. You delegated out to him this research. Oh, my bad. You're not his fucking boss. You're not going to be delegating shit to him. In fact, the fact that you have so little respect for QE is beyond. It's just deplorable. The fact that you've got that level of respect that it can permeate out to Ranty to then demand of this man who has educated you so much that he should be giving us this information. It's just downright irresponsible to not give it us. How dare you? Do you two have any fucking idea how arrogant you are?
Wow.
How dare you?
makes
You
it
both
really
need to feel
hard,
ashamed.
Nathan.
That's a really
he's
harsh
Nathan's
term because it's
priest.
not about that at all. It has nothing to do with that. Any of it. I don't know why you're going off in this tangent. It's ridiculous.
Because it's outrageous. Someone gives you some
It's
information.
not
Say
outrageous. It
what you
has to
should
do
be
nothing
doing.
to do with him educating me
Yeah,
or
it
my
is.
demands. It has
Yeah.
to do with him
Yeah.
saying things.
Next time
and
someone
keeping on
educates you,
saying
Arwijn.
it
Next time
and not
someone
breaking the
educates you, Arwyn.
cowbell.
Yeah, get
That's
triggered.
what
Just
it's
do
about.
exactly the same as Ranty did. Get very,
Nathan.
very triggered. Go on.
You're triggered. You're
I'm not in
you're
the slightest bit
acting
triggered. I'm
like a very
annoyed
devious
at the
person
arrogance
right
of
now.
you two.
I'm gonna
demanding
get
this
out
stuff.
of here. I'm really disappointed at you, Nathan. I
You
can't
won't shut
believe
up.
You're going this far. Like
Yeah,
this.
you won't shut up.
Yeah, you want.
You let me know when you're done. Get it out, all out, like Ranty did, and then go on mute and
why-
never respond or disappear completely.
Let QE get on here and spit and tell us. Stop white knighting.
So,
for it.
excuse me, I don't mind white knighting for him. And when he educates me, do you know what I say? Thank you.
Well, this is what we're waiting for. We're waiting to be
When he feeds you
educated,
bullshit?
Nathan.
Oh,
Waiting to be
right.
You
educated.
plenty of times, and I
You
give
say
him a lot
thank
of
you when he
credit.
feeds you bullshit.
Oh, sorry, my bad. It's your delegation for the education you require and the information he should be out sorting for you, Ranty, hasn't come in a timely fashion. I'd sack him, mate. Oh, my bad, he isn't your fucking employee.
Well, Arwen's only been. Well, how about when somebody comes on, a Glober comes on, and you ask for evidence? If they don't provide evidence within 2 minutes, you're calling them out.
I do.
Yeah, you do. So I'm calling QE out.
Oh, so he made a claim, did he? Didn't we just go
He's
through
made the
this?
claim. People are saying
What
it in
claim-
the chat that he's
what
made it
claim
in
Let's
the
see if we can have it with
well.
Ranty again, because he's now talking through when it's a devastating
claim-
question.
Buckyballs
Devastating
in
question,
the
so it's time to talk through
1990s
Nathan. It's
approved.
just like the fundies. I'm asking a devastating
Buckyballs
question,
in the
so
90s.
Ranty's going to talk non-stop. So, Ranty, what claim did QE make exactly?
Buckyballs in the 1990s were proved. Quote from here no more than 30 minutes ago in this very show.
In defence of an argument that Anon was having with Arwijn. He brought up buckyballs, did he? QE.
Arwijn brought it up with...
Arwijn brought it up? Oh, my bad. So not QE then. So it seems like, again, verbal diatribe that I am going to mute, because these people, like Ranty's just called me, are cunts, when they're being shown to be completely unreasonable and wankers. Ranty, just like any normal human being, which is why the Globeheads aren't shills. Ranty's no fucking different. He's talking right through every word I say right now. Doesn't realise I've stuck him on mute because he's an asshole, and I don't want to get triggered listening to his nonsense diatribe, total unreasonableness over the top of me. I'm just going to point out that he hasn't brought up anything. QE's not done anything. He's not made any claims. He's not used buckyballs as a defence of anything. He happens to have given Arwijn some information, and Arwijn has turned around and basically said, well, it's then his responsibility to make sure I know every single aspect of this particular subject in case it comes up in debate. And am I to be defeated in debate with this information? I'm going to charge you with the failure and your failure to keep me up to date with it. Yeah? So that's what's basically happening here. I'm very disappointed in my co-hosts, my other panel members, in their total arrogance. And while I'm being completely rumpus to all shit by Ranty, I'm going to say I am personally very grateful to QE and wouldn't dare be so arrogant as to demand that he gives me further information. Might ask him kindly once in a while if he's prepared to give it me. But demanding it like this is just bloody outrageous.
It up. Quantum Eraser brought it up. He brought it up, Nathan, not 30 minutes ago. So I'm asking him, in the 1990s, to show that proof. It's very simple. Don't white knight for him, let him answer himself.
That was the rudest thing I've ever seen you do, Ranty.
Well, I'm sorry, I was halfway through. I'd only got 2 words out and he interrupted me.
It doesn't matter. You should
I'm
have
not
more
being treated
poise.
like I'm not being treated like a cunt on here. When I'm halfway through saying something to get interrupted so rudely. When all we're asking for is one of our own to show us some information that he has been parroting around as being proof. It's very simple. If he doesn't have it, just hold your hands up and say, I don't have it.
He hasn't made a claim, Ranty. He hasn't made a claim. He hasn't made a claim, Ranty. He just won't ever shut up to hear this. Ranty's got verbal diarrhea. Whoever's talking, now it's Arwijn. Of course, it's double team. Double team time.
Double speak now. Oh,
shut
wow.
up. I'm trying to talk. I've been rumpus non-stop by bloody Arwijn, and now I'm getting rumpus by Ranty, and it won't ever stop. So on my own show, these two cunts have decided I'm not allowed to have a say in my own show. They're going to talk non-stop. Basically, never allow my responses. Now they're talking over me again. Of course. Well, that's not reasonable, so obviously I'm going to shut their line down so I can be heard. These two bastards are totally unreasonable in their demands of a man that's trying to educate them, taking out his own time and effort to do so, and upon being defeated by an argument, they think it's reasonable to demand a better education from that man. It's not their employees, under no obligation. The fact that he's given them any information to go out and brush up on themselves is absolutely up to them. The fact that they don't want to do it and want to charge him with their failures is totally and utterly unreasonable.
Fire!
May I have a nice chat with QE, please?
No. I don't know why Rumpus number 1, Ranty, and Rumpus number 2, Arwijn, have forced me to shut down their line every time I want to speak.
Just let me chat with QE. That's it. Just me and QE.
I'm
very
pretty
calm,
disgusted with Ranty and Arwijn. They don't want to hear it, so they both talk over me the moment I start trying to actually communicate it with them, rather than the audience alone, because they won't let me communicate it with them. They just talk through me.
Disappointed in what, Nathan? In asking Quantum Eraser to provide some cowbell.
For what claim? What claim did QE make?
QE told Arwijn.
Right.
Told him.
No, you're
told
asking
him
the wrong damn
questions
questions. That's why I haven't been able to add anything in this whole time. I'm so upset.
Elijah, do you think you're helping, mate?
Oh, it's not him.
Do you think you're helping, Elijah? No, you're not.
So if Quantum Eraser has been telling this Arwijn for the past few months, and he's been using this argument against Anon, and then when I bring it up and mention Quantum Eraser, and Quantum Eraser agrees that this experiment is out there, yeah, it was proved in the 1990s, and I simply say, well, show me that then, Quantum Eraser. This is me asking Quantum Eraser for his proof that he mentioned on this show 30 minutes ago, Nathan.
Yeah, he's not using it in...
Forget Arwijn, forget Anon.
Yeah, see, I'm not allowed to respond. I'm not allowed to respond. See, this asshole, he's calling me a cunt left and right, but he just won't shut up. He's not making an argument using that proof. Arwijn is. So it's Arwyn's responsibility to back his own proof with evidence. Now, while QE might have cited it to Arwyn, that doesn't make it QE's responsibility. That's where you're confused. But you're charging him like it's his responsibility. It's not.
He said it in this show 30 minutes ago.
So what?
Agreed it was out there.
So what?
I'm asking for it.
Why? To prove what? I asked this earlier. What information?
I just want to have it.
I'm still talking, Ranty. We went through this earlier. I asked you, and you're still doing it again. You're interrupting me again. Why are you calling me a cunt when you're not letting me get a sentence out? You've just charged me 2 minutes ago with talking all over you. Now you're doing it. A projection, mate.
No, because you're...
Yeah, no, I just need you to shut up. I just need a chance to respond. I just need a chance to respond.
I don't need a reason to ask.
I just need a chance to respond, and I'm not getting one. You're being totally unreasonable.
No, you're white knighting for quantum eraser here. And it's very evident for the whole... Everybody's seeing this, Nathan. And we just want to see the proof. Why are you doing this? Why don't you just say, yeah, there's a claim out there, show your proof? Because you do it to everybody else, but when it's quantum eraser and it's clear that he doesn't have it, you're white knighting for him so badly, and it's very, very poor, Nathan.
Have what?
I'm out of it.
You're rage quitting, are you? Got your little diatribe out and now you're going to piss off rather than face any of my questions, Ranty? Questions that you will just talk through non-stop or run away like a little coward. He is under no obligation or responsibility to back Arwyn's claims. If Arwyn wants to back something he's heard from a third party, it doesn't become the third party's responsibility to back what becomes Arwyn's claim. He has to back it. Unfortunately, he hasn't, and has then charged QE with the responsibility for his failure. Well, it's not QE's problem. Now, the fact that he's gone, yeah, there is a buckyball experiment in the 90s, that doesn't then transfer responsibility for that debate and proving that claim onto QE. Yeah, there is. Well, I don't have to do anything. He hasn't got to do a damn thing. He's not having the argument. He keeps saying, I'm not having this argument, because he's done the same thing I have for the last 8 or 9 months, which is say to Anon, go and find out where wave function has been derived from. Making this necessity for a non-experiment in this regard redundant. It's not needed. You don't need the experiment on account of the fact that that's not proving or disproving wave-particle duality. It's got sod all to do with it. So what's he going to do? Run around because you've demanded? Who's interrupting me now? Who's that? Oh, of course, it's Anon. Yeah, Anon. When you plead to get yourself put back in Master B, do you think I'm going to let you when you're interrupting me like the other two cunts who've been interrupting me this entire show? Knowing to shut your fucking mouth. Yeah, now they're fucked off, I actually get to talk unimpeded and you think you're going to interrupt me, do you, asshole?
This is your show, man. I'm not...
Yes, so shut up!
Okay, I'll go on mute.
When you get kicked out of Master B, Anon, I will not be there white knighting for you to get put back in. QE, on the other hand, I'll white knight all day for him. Yeah, 90% of my information's come from him. You don't think I'm going to defend him? Of course I am. Arwyn's information that his gripe is because he's got information. Yeah, I think he should be saying thank you. Not moaning that he hasn't got enough of it out of him. Oh, right. Oh, that's how it works, is it? Someone gives you a bit of information and you'd be damn sure you're going to give it all of them. That's valuable information. Yeah, people pay a lot of money for information. But because he said something that's true, you say, no, you must back it immediately. Someone else has taken that information and argued with it, and they haven't got the entirety of the information. Well, maybe QE spent years and years researching it, and now holds it as valuable information. He's reluctant to just give up because you demand it of him. Like you're his boss. Who the hell do you people think you are? Have some bloody respect.
Asking for a cowbell.
Was he debating with you? When he debated with you, he told you to go and find out what wave function was, having presented it to many audiences Anon, over and over again. We've done, me personally, with him, has done presentations on that subject. I know about it. You just say I don't care. What, you think we should extend you respect? You can't be asked to do your due diligence. You don't go away and research any of the stuff that QE tells you. You don't go and do your due diligence. You expect to be spoon-fed it like Arwyn. When you're not spoon-fed it in the manner you expect it, shut up! You dumb fuck! Are you that fucking stupid after I've told you that I don't want you interrupting me? And the fact that you are means I have no sympathy for you when people kick you out of this group? Shut your mouth! I'm telling you that you spastics need spoon-feeding. Yeah? You've got absolutely no respect for the people that are actually taking their time out of their day to give you this information. of their goodwill. Yeah? I'd prefer you said thank you to QE, not demand he gives you more. Oh, thank you very much for that juicy, yummy information. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, that ran out quickly. Poison? Give me more! How dare you not give it me now? Who the fuck do you people think you are?
Bullshit.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
I'm telling you what he's telling me is bullshit, so I'm not eating it. I'm asking him.
Yeah, because you've done your due diligence, have you? Mr. I can't be asked to go and find out where wave functions derive from. Because you're a lazy piece of shit. You are lazy. I've told you. That's what I told you when you joined. You're lazy. I can't be bothered with that. You're lazy.
I'm not. Let me.
Yeah, you are. You are. You, Ranty, and Arwijn, in this regard, are all lazy. You can't be asked to go and do the extra research. You've heard something juicy, and then rather than doing the due diligence and research required to form your own coherent arguments, you go out with the tiny sliver of information you've been given by somebody considerably more information rich than yourself, and then when your limited information you've been given by someone else fails because you haven't got an expansive knowledge of it, you blame him. The fucking arrogance level is off the scale.
Onto my show later that day, I clarified to my audience what went down. I guess you're all going to want to know what went down on Nathan's earlier. I think Nathan's, that particular show will be shown, if I am right, perhaps on Sunday. I just want to say that obviously, you know, things get heated between friends when we have this this debate. It's a very heated topic. We have different standards that we all adhere to. In this particular case, on this show, I don't particularly ask for a lot of proofs as such. You know, I don't demand proofs. But the standards on Nathan's show are a little higher than that. So when he's demanding proofs, I expect that to be held on all sides, and that everybody should be accountable on all sides of that. Now, it has transpired post-show. Let me try and show you what I have. Just one second, guys. Here we go. Right, okay, so this has transpired post-show. So we went live at 10 to 4. So the show wrapped up at 10 to 5, and I dropped at around about 20 to 5. So essentially, Paul gave a link in Masturbators to a link that is essentially what I've been asking for, right? What I was asking for on this debate. And John, his first question was, how long did it take you to find that, John? Right? And then straight after it put, took me 3 seconds, can you beat that? Okay, so essentially 2, 1, etc. The problem is, and this is a problem, that Arwijn had been asking for this information for the past 4 or 5 months from Quantum Eraser on multiple occasions. And this information was not forthcoming. It was ummed and ahed, and he didn't want to produce this information. Now, I'm not saying that this information is right or wrong. That isn't my point. My point is, if you make a claim on Nathan's show, you go ahead and you back it up. Now, this wasn't John that actually produced this link here. This was Paul. And John replied with, like, how long did it take you to find that? Like, I already knew that. But what's interesting is that clearly John didn't actually click the link and know what the hell he was talking about, because if you actually look and follow the link, it actually takes you up to essentially just a brief breakdown of this apparent experiment that was supposed to have taken place. To actually get that, you actually have to search for it. So you actually have to search that. So you copy that, open up Google, have a search of this again, have a search for that. It will eventually take you to this citation here, and you can actually download the PDF. So you can download it through that. So here we actually have the Site Science Originates.education. So this is the actual document that would have been needed to have been provided. So this shouldn't have come up into John's radar. It should not have been part of his. It should not have been on his radar when he was looking for this information. This is what should have been. So this quote, this comment here, where he gives you this this link. John pretends that, yeah, this is, I always do that, yeah, bullshit. I'm going to just say it as it is. Look, he didn't have the information to hand at the time. This link doesn't lead to the actual work that we would have been looking for, and John still hasn't got to that point of providing it. So I'm sure at some point he will get to this point, and he will probably link this that Paul actually found for him because he hadn't had it for the past 5 months. So because somebody else able to find this for him, he was able to then jump on this and pretend that he knew that this is what he was actually already knew about, which was utter garbage, in my opinion. Now that's just my opinion. It doesn't mean it's true. Everyone's allowed to have an opinion. Anyway, I will also say that in this experiment, it has come to my attention that there is a lot of issues inside this particular document. So this document here, there is many issues inside of this that, let's put it this way, may not, even though it's published, may not back up John's assertions. So if John does use this or this, then straight away I'm showing it now that he has basically put his stamp of approval on this and this. And if he doesn't stick to this, even though we know that there's now issues inside of this, then essentially we still need the other information that he's looking for, the other information that he's been citing. So that's my position. Now, it's nothing to do with John. Me and John have always had a bit of a fractious position. You know, you guys know this, you know. We just tolerate each other, even though we're on the same side. I think it's more to do with his personality than anything else. But that's just the way he is, and that kind of rubs me up the wrong way. But I don't want to see him putting information out like this, or citations, or putting proofs out that aren't backed up, especially when he holds those standards to everybody else. What transpired in Nathan's today, in my opinion, was not the way it should have gone. I actually, when I actually made the comment and actually then started getting into this conversation about, no, he needs to produce this, I expected Nathan immediately to be just on my side. Well, yeah, there is a claim there. It needs to be proven, needs to be shown. This evidence needs to be put out there. I didn't expect what actually transpired. Genuinely did not expect what transpired. It took me by surprise. I actually thought something completely different would have transpired. It didn't happen that way. That's why I got so irate on the show. So, you know, we have these disagreements, we have these arguments. I'm just in this for the truth, right? I'm sure everybody here hasn't got time to be wasted listening to people that don't have proofs, don't have evidence, that it's just wasting time. I don't have time to be wasting time. You know, time is precious, you know. At the end of the day, I've invested over 4 years in this, and I'm looking for people that can provide evidence and proof and try and make things progress. Now, if you haven't got the citations and you don't have the proof, then you're not much use to me. And essentially, that's just the way it is. And everybody here should feel the same, that we're all held to account. We're all held to account for everything that we do. If you're not willing to hold your hand up and say you don't have the information or you're wrong, or that's a fundamental problem with yourself, nobody else. It's down to you. I can always hold my hands out if I've done something wrong, right? But ultimately, I'm here for the truth. And I didn't like the way it went down on Nathan's. Now, me and Nathan are still going to be mates. Tomorrow, the day after, I'll be on his show. It's not a problem, yeah? It's not a problem, right? We have these issues because we need to expose them at the time, and then we move on. And then everybody learns from it, and everybody makes things better in the long run. So that blowout that you saw on Nathan's today, whilst fully warranted in my opinion, because Arwijn had been asking Quantum Eraser and had been relying on Quantum Eraser's so-called proofs for months that he refused to give to Arwijn, even asked for on numerous times, even told me to F off on Nathan's show today when I specifically asked him for this 3 times. Right at the start, before he even got angry, I asked him for the citation for this experiment, and he told me to F off 3 times. Now, I'm sorry, but I don't care where you come from. If you're a friend of somebody and you're asked for something and you're asking in a nice way, I wasn't being belligerent. That sort of behaviour needs to be stamped out. And I'm sorry, but John, if you're listening here, because you probably are, you need to understand that you just can't come in and talk to people that way. It is not on, right? And I wouldn't do it to you. I've bit my tongue for as long as I have possibly tried to. I've tried to ease things over with you, but you come in and the first thing you say is things like, and these people on this panel, they're gonna get it later, these morons on this panel. To the flat earthers that are on there, me, Sleeping Warrior, like a bull in a china shop, you have some anger issues, my friend, and you cannot be allowed to get away with what you have been doing unchecked. And Nathan is a party to that because he allows this. Now that isn't a debate. What that is it's a church of quantum eraser. And you are the law. Well, not in my book. It doesn't happen on my watch, and it won't happen on my watch anywhere. And that grates you because you cannot control me. I'm not 10th man. I'm not somebody that's just going to lie there and take it. So you better believe it, John. When we hold you to task, you had better sharpen your pencil because we will be ready. And that is my point. That is my position, and I am not backing down from that position. John, you and I are going to be still friends tomorrow, the day after that. But if you can't hear this from your friends, then there is something wrong because you don't listen to it from your enemies, but your friends are all too scared to speak to you and tell you this. Well, I'm not. And you need to hear this. Right, and that is that. And that is all I'm going to say on this. I'm not going to mention this again. That's me, done and dusted. It's on the record now. Everybody knows where we stand. And we're going to move forward. And we're going to hopefully get some answers in the future. Right, now then, let's get back to this. Let's say a few hellos to a few people that are in here. Hang on. Right, hang on. Now in this segment, I let rip at my own subscribers and fellow flat earthers. This show was called Coronavirus Auto Hoaxers Do No Favours to Humanity, Don't Be a Gatekeeper, and was aired on the 28th of February 2020. By this point, my audience were getting on my nerves about the virus, as they were all saying it was a scam, etc. Riley had been the architect of this belief, and backed by Bob Nodell and Russian Vids, and essentially almost every other Flat Earth channel out there, I was a lone voice, but I had to shake my audience out of their willful slumber, and I let rip. Please don't copy this format if you want to grow your channel. Shouting at your own subs is not recommended. I have a lot of people in the chat that are, really against what I'm saying, but I put a community post out before, guys, and I actually said, if you don't like this, if you don't want me talking about this, you don't have to listen. You can stick your head in the sand and you can go off and watch something else. If you want to go and watch Flat Earth stuff, Iron Realm Media are on right now. Go ahead and watch them. Disappear off my chat, piss off, and go and watch them, and then come back when I start talking Flat Earth in about 40 minutes' time when I start another show up. If you don't want to listen to this, that's fine. But if you're just going to be in the chat, just saying, if you're just going to be in the chat saying, this is wrong, 33, this is wrong, auto hoax, 33, with no fucking proof, right? I could go on here right now and I could bring up 100 videos, 1,000 videos of people actually in China showing you dead and deceased people lying everywhere. I could do that if I wanted to, but I'll get a community strike. You can do it if you go and find it, if you want to actually look into it. Instead of just running your mouths in the chat, go the hell and find out yourselves. If not, piss off and go and watch somewhere else, right? I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for money because this doesn't make money. And Sleeping Warrior going around behind my back telling people left, right, and centre that the only reason I'm talking about this fear-mongering bullshit is to actually make fucking super chats. Do you know, I've not had a single super chat when I've talked about this fucking coronavirus, and I don't expect it to. And I don't want people to fucking give me a super chat for this because this is more important. And I don't give a shit. I'm a truther here, and I'm doing this for you guys. And if you don't like it, fuck off. Go somewhere else. Well, I know this was long, but this happened within a month from the 31st of January to the 28th of February 2020. It was showing you how disillusioned I was getting with my so-called Flat Earth researchers and fellow Flat Earth believers. And if you stayed to the end of the video, I thank you. Please leave a comment, and I'll see you all in the next one.